Welcome to the carousel. I am John, sometimes MusiM. With me, I got Jake.
It's Green River season, bitches.
It's Green what season?
Green
Green
River.
River.
Oh,
It's
it's because it's St. Patty's. They do that in Chicago.
Oh,
We have multiple Green Rivers. We dye the Chicago River green, but more importantly, Green
Sometimes
River
it's pollution.
soda.
Sometimes it's
Green
on
River
purpose.
soda is available now. It is only around for like 3 weeks a year. It is lime soda, and it is fucking terrible for you. But because of the artificial scarcity, I go nuts for it every year.
okay.
Super excited.
Okay. Well, and I also have Randy.
Hello. No green soda here.
What soda are you drinking down there, buddy?
Coke Zero.
All right, well, there goes my idea for a segment.
It's not exciting. I do enjoy Doritos, if you're familiar with those.
That sounds like a snack. Does like that
they're,
weird soda that comes in a bag?
No, it is a weird soda. It's not even weird. It comes in glass bottles. It's Mexican. It's got like fruit flavors and stuff.
I have a Green Lantern ring, but that's about
There
it.
you go.
Get
About
that.
it. In Darkest Night, I don't know the saying. So welcome to the carousel, guys. If you've not listened to us before, we talk about movies, games, and comics occasionally. Not really comics so often, but comic movies and TV.
There you go.
And
We're not dorks.
we like talking about the news. Yeah, I mean these two guys watch sports, so that makes us not dorks.
I know. I'm missing tournament time.
I don't tournament time.
Yeah.
It's March Madness.
You've heard of March Madness, surely.
Once upon a time I might have known. Is that a basketball thing?
Yeah.
And don't call him Shirley.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, with that said, I smell some funk in the room.
Yeah, I'm full of shit, and I also need to issue an apology. So we'll start with me being full of shit. Last episode, I had said that Disc Jam is a over the back third person camera disc jammers. That's not a thing. I don't think that's ever been a thing. I meant to say windjammers. Sorry. And then the apology is I sounded like total shit last episode. Hopefully, I don't sound that way anymore. What had happened was my mic input changed from the good mic that's in front of my face to the headset that was down on the floor that I explicitly put down on the floor so it wouldn't pick anything up.
What?
And I thought that it was disabled, and so it was just echoing off 3 walls and then just doing a feedback loop, and it was bad. So I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
Well,
That should hopefully only
That's an
be a
interesting
thing.
thing that happens.
Like
Why is
every
that even
third
still
episode.
plugged in if it's down on the floor?
Well, because I was using it for headphones. I was just using the headphones on it, and
Okay.
it's what I usually do. But I have an audio jack on my speakers that I decided to use, and so it was a confluence of events that just everything went horribly.
It's one of those things. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry.
So,
I missed it.
so why don't you tell us what's coming out, Randy?
Well, right off the bat, we're going to go with Mass Effect Andromeda coming out on the 21st.
Hell yeah.
I know.
So I guess
That's
Pretty
it.
excited about that. Jake wanted to shit on it. Jake?
Well, I wanted to let John say his piece before,
Okay.
and then maybe ask a couple of questions that lead into some of my concerns.
All right.
I've said my piece on here a lot of times, but I was going to add on that if you are a member of EA's special little club that costs, I don't know, $60 or something a year on Xbone and PC, you can actually play it now. But I think you still have to buy it on
Right.
top of that. Like, I guess if you didn't own any of the games in the EA Vault stuff, then maybe that might be appealing, but I don't understand how you would not own most of the Dragon Age Mass Effects at present point, so I don't understand why anyone's a member of that. Maybe someone can write in and explain it to me.
Yeah, it's I look at it every probably 4 or 5 months and just kind of go, well, okay. I mean, it's not super expensive. It's not crazy, but the library, like, I don't know, it's just kind of not there, and I have gotten most of the stuff that I've wanted to play on Steam for cheap over the years, so I just
Yeah.
kind of
Like, I'm worried when the streaming future comes, I won't join it because I keep buying shit new, so I'll just look at it and be like, oh, I already own all the shit I want in that library to play. Why would I join that? Like, it'll be a I don't know.
Well, there's that, and there's the bandwidth issues, as far as pulling down 60, 70 gigs worth of games, and at any rate, we're talking about Mass Effect. I'm a little concerned. Some of the footage, I haven't watched any. That's again, it's pissing me off that people got this game 2 weeks early and they're putting out huge chunks of footage on this thing. Somebody had a Let's Play that I stumbled across that was already up to like episode 3, and that was like on Tuesday. Like the game's not up for 3 days, and he's already 4 episodes into this thing. But I've seen some articles and some GIFs that make me
Probably not
concerned.
technically allowed to do that.
I don't know. It might be one of these things where they partner with streamers or YouTubers that we've been, we don't know what those deals are.
Polygon, Giant Bomb, and Waypoint have all done like hour to 2 hour streams on Mass Effect this week. So,
So I'm a little concerned. Well, part of me, I think I might be an open world burnout after playing Hack and Slash. So there's that concern, but also, boy, that the animations, like for facial, like the mocap, boy, looks a little rough. I've heard some sort of complaints about people who have been playing it that the cover system's a little messed up, and like it feels sort of floaty, and not floaty because you have a jetpack. And I don't know. I'm a little concerned, so I'm gonna kind of wait and see what the jury says about it.
Oh, you're not buying it day one?
I was gonna, and I'm sort of. I think I'm having to walk it back now.
BioWare just has such a pretty stellar record with me, so I have a hard time not wanting to get whatever they put out, like especially single player wise. And I adore Mass Effect. I don't know if it shows up on here, but you can see my little Mass Effect freaking tribute shelf back there. But
oh yeah, John's the only person I ever knew who would play the multiplayer with me on Mass Effect 3.
It was fun, and you know what? I'm getting this new Mass Effect for PC again. You're probably getting yours for PS4, aren't you?
If you're getting it on PC, I'll get it on PC.
Well,
that's actually another thing that's sort of making me pause. Mass Effect 2 was EA's, here's your free game for however long we want to release this game for free thing. They do that on Origin from time to time, and at some point it was Mass Effect 2, and I went back and played it, and like it didn't grab me right away, and the PC controls feel weird to me, and it didn't have controller support, and like... So kind of have a bad taste in my mouth with that series right now. I need to definitely be convinced to pick it up.
I've noticed a lot of the people who started that series on console have a hard time moving to mouse and keyboard on it. Like for me, my first Mass Effect, the first time I played the original Mass Effect was on PC. Like I didn't own an Xbox 360 for quite a while. Like the way I got my 360 is during the company Christmas party one year. I won a massive, like, $500 gift card or something like that. And
shit, yeah.
I was like, well, I already have a PS3. I guess this is a good excuse to go get the Halos and the 360. But, heck, was the original Mass Effect on 360 or was that Xbox? That was 360, wasn't it?
It was early in the cycle, but that had to be 360.
Yeah.
That had to be. There's no way those textures could have... I mean, the load times were balls. But there's no way the original Xbox could have rendered that game.
I think so, yeah. Because it was like 07.
Yeah. Randy, do you know if Joey and Kevin are picking it up? Kevin's a fan,
no idea.
isn't he?
Yeah, he likes the Mass Effect games, but Kevin doesn't. I'm not sure that he'll be picking up games a whole lot lately. He's probably tapping himself out going to Alcon this weekend.
Gotcha. Like, I guess I could be persuaded to change my pre-order on Amazon to PS4, but it's always been a PC franchise for me, so I kind of don't want to, but...
I don't care. I'll join you on PC. I'm not loyal.
Cool. Well, and I'm good either way.
I need to use my PC more anyway.
Yeah.
I don't game much on it anymore.
Well, it looks like I meet the minimum requirements. I definitely don't meet the recommended requirements, or at least not on the graphics card.
I haven't even looked. My graphic card like 3 years old.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm still excited about Mass Effect. I'm expecting a B+ game. I'm not expecting something earth-shattering. I'm expecting to see the races I like again. Maybe enjoy some characters. Because what game has BioWare produced that you don't like the characters in?
Well, and I'm sure there will be one or two from the
No.
old Mass Effect stuff. No,
No.
none?
I'm sure
Nope.
there won't.
They're
Nothing at all,
They're
huh?
starting from scratch.
Okay.
Like,
So
the idea with going to Andromeda is so they don't have to import any of your decisions or characters or anything.
does
I
Andromeda?
guess-
So they're in a whole other galaxy.
Yeah.
Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's hundreds of years later, right?
I believe so, because they didn't use the Mass Effect drives to get there, I don't think. So,
Because if the relays, sorry, I got to be a pedantic jackass. They were relays, not drives.
I'm glad you relayed
Well-
that to me.
I guess they work in conjunction. So, okay, all right, I'll allow it. It's half a point. I guess the only way, if they wanted to kind of wedge in some stuff from the previous series, is that, like, I don't know, some transmissions or recordings from characters that you knew.
Or like
But it
maybe
would be so ham-fisted.
maybe Commander Shepard is like a myth now, like a mythic figure.
And all you see is advertisements from him. Being a
Yeah. They brought
spokesperson
him
for
back,
stuff.
and he's advertising like floor cleaner.
Oh god, that would be wonderful. That would be like it imports your game just to have a horrible shepherd like advertising like spam thing.
Yep.
Keep getting spam messages in your email from fucking Shepherd trying to sell you on.
Penis pills.
you wake up from hypersleep or whatever 500 years later, and you have like 60,000 unread messages, and they're all from Shepard trying to sell you shit.
Forward.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, like the animations, I don't. People keep expecting, and I noticed this with Fallout 4 too. People keep expecting these companies to use like a new, updated engine that does these wonderful facial animations, and they're not gonna. They're gonna keep building off their old engines. And
Yeah, even the new game. What is it? Horizon. Those facial animations are pretty stiff too, I think.
What? We'll get to that.
All right. Well, okay. That's enough on Mass Effect. Unless anybody has anything else. to
no,
add.
push it forward.
Okay. 3/28. 1 week later, Dark Souls downloadable content. The Ringed City.
It looks
Who's-
neat. I'm not gonna get it. Like I think my journey with Dark Souls is over. But for what they're doing, I think this looks cooler than their weird up on a mountain snow Viking-y thing.
So what does ringed mean? Does that just mean it has a bunch of rings all over the city?
It's my guess is because of course the trailer's totally
Concentric rings, maybe.
right. That's
walls
what
or
I'm
whatever?
thinking. Like picture what was it Gondor in the
Minas
third Lord of the
Tirith.
Rings movie? Minas
Gondor's the
Tirith.
country, you moron.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm picturing like that, although not necessarily built straight up into a mountain.
Mhm.
But it's cool. There's this at the end of Dark Souls 3, this sort of walkway, the pathway up to the final boss. If you look, and it's not even off in the distance, if you look to either side, there's just this city that looks like it just kind of like it was built on a flat plane, and then just like half that plane just decided to sort of cave in. And so you look up this wall, and it's this entire city that is in like sort of different states of having just fallen over. And I guess this land that you're going to is after that, and it's supposed to be like the end of all things is where you're going. I don't know if that's time or if that's just like here's where the end of the world is. But it is what they're saying is it's the last DLC for the last Dark Souls game. So
Okay.
I guess we'll wait a couple of weeks and see what VatiVidya digs up, and we'll see what the stories were.
I'm excited
All right,
to play it after I beat Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But don't forget
And
Demon
all,
Souls.
and all the DLC.
I beat
And Bloodborne.
Demon Souls, thank you very much. So,
Speaking of Demon Souls, Major League Baseball The Show 2017, also on the 28th.
What the
I guess
fuck
that's only on PS4.
The show's always been PS4 exclusive.
why
Oh,
is
okay.
that
I
on
didn't
our...
know.
What's MLB The Show? Isn't that like a baseball game or something?
Jake
Yeah,
must have put it on
I
there, yeah.
play the shit out of the show.
Oh,
I was
okay.
playing it this week, and
Okay.
my game's, I
Yep.
think 15. I think it's MLB 15. I play the shit out of that game.
Major League Baseball.
I don't know anything they're changing. I won't pick it up for 2 years until it's used somewhere because I don't care about roster updates.
get it for
Even though the
$20.
Cubs are the world champions now, I'm gonna wait. But I like those games. I wanted to bring it up.
Man, the only sports game I really got into is NCAA football, and they don't make them anymore. So
Yeah, that's the thing about having, let's not say indentured servants, but people who have to work for you for free. They don't
That's
like
a
that.
that's a whole other podcast on a whole other episode.
That
Okay,
is-
also that day, Final Fantasy 15 episode Gladiolus.
Yeah. So you actually get to play. Gladiolus is one of your companions in Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
And each episode you're going to get, I guess, is going to be based around one of your companions. But you actually get to play him in that episode. I'm going to wait for
He's
the.
the big guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to wait for the reviews on it, but like. One of the pictures I saw advertising it kind of showed him without his scar and then with his scar. So I think, like, there's a. That's right. You guys haven't played this hardly at all. There's a point in the game where Gladiolus disappears for a little bit and comes. Actually, there's several points where he disappears and comes back, and both times he has extra scars. So, I'm suspecting.
I almost kind of don't want to know. I almost like the idea of him just coming back with more scars, and it's like, that's Gladiolus, haha.
Well, and I don't know for a fact that's what this is going to do. I just suspect it. So, or maybe it's going to make us even more depressed about the game. So, anyway, sorry. Continue.
All right, that's it for games. Moving on to movies, we got the Belko Experiment coming out tomorrow.
That's
Notice what this is, John?
I've only seen a handful of trailers for it.
It is written by James Gunn, the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy. The theme of it is Battle Royale meets Office Space.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, a bunch of office workers are working, and then a voice on the
Okay.
intercom comes on and says, if you want to get out, you have to kill 2 other people in the office. Or something like that.
So is it sort of like a satirical kind of dark comedy, or is it like for real?
Like,
Like takes itself seriously.
I think it's
all about
both.
Royale.
I mean, like, James Gunn did Slither. Like, keep this in mind. Like, that was
Oh, that's right.
bloody and gross. And so I'm expecting this to be bloody and gross. But I've heard it is actually kind of a horror movie in a lot of places. And I've heard it's funny in a lot of places. It has,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you can do both.
Dr. Cox from Scrubs is in it.
Damn it. I went out specifically to try and find his name after the last cast because I couldn't think of his name, and then I thought of it, I read it, and it fell out of my head, and now I want to call him John C. Reilly, which is
Nope.
totally wrong.
McGinley. Pretty sure John C. McGinley.
That sounds like it might be right.
I think
He has
that's
curly,
as right as I'm
he has
willing
kind
to
of
go.
curly hair, right? So he's probably like
Yeah,
Irish
we
or
all know. I
Scottish.
mean, we all know who Dr. Cox is, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
the actor's name is John C. McGinley.
It does.
He was one of the Bobs in Office Space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is one of the Bobs.
Yeah,
And
he's
wasn't he in Platoon as well?
Yes, he was.
I've never
Yeah,
seen
it fucked me
Platoon.
up seeing him in Platoon.
Anything else to add on the Belko
No,
experiment?
keep
You
moving.
You gonna go see it?
Keep this train. I'm gonna go.
No.
Well, maybe not this weekend, but I'm gonna go see it. I still got to see Get Out though. I have to prioritize Get Out.
I've heard that was excellent.
I've
okay,
heard nothing but
317.
praise.
Also tomorrow, T2 train spotting. What's the T2 mean? What's that about?
I don't know. They put that on there, but this is the Train Spotting sequel. So
Oh,
Ewan McGregor's
So-
character comes back after
didn't even know they were
20
doing that.
years and kind of hands everyone money, but everyone's still pissed off at him. And
It's shite to be Scottish. I don't want your goddamn money.
he's been waiting to do that
Ewan.
since before we started the stream.
Get the hell out of here, Ewan.
He had it chambered and ready to go.
That's the only
You
thing I
know-
remember about that movie. That and the infamous toilet thing and the baby on the ceiling. And I guess statutory rape?
yeah, well,
That's kind of all I remember.
was it statutory rape? Because I mean,
What-
he was fucked
was-
up, and she was 17, and she fucked him.
It depends on it. Well, I don't know about in Scotland.
Oh, right.
but
Statutory
it
rape is not actually. That's just an underage.
Well, boy, you're
young
really
adult.
going down a path here. I would maybe just shut up about
It
your
depends on the
definitions
difference
of rape.
between them. It depends on the difference between them. That's all. Okay. I didn't even know they were doing a sequel.
He
to
did not
Trainspotting.
force herself on her. Is all I was saying.
A week after that is New Power Rangers on March 24th, complete with the modern treatment of washed out color and a serious tone, which
Yeah.
is just what they needed.
Well,
If-
and I like how they included the Michael Bay Transformers in it for the Zords. You know, I don't like that. But I'm kind of curious about the Breakfast Club aspect, so if it gets okay reviews, I might see it on like $5 Tuesday night.
I used to watch that show all the time because it was like on after school. Like I was way too old at that point to be watching after school cartoons. But it turns out these cartoons were Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, like really good cartoons. And Power Rangers was part of that block.
It was.
And like I want to say it was like after two good ones and before the last good one. So it was just one of those things where like, fuck, all right, it's on. I'm not going to change the channel. I'm just going to leave this on until the next good thing's on or whatever. And I have no love for that series. Like I liked that dark, gritty reboot from the dude who's doing, God, we were just talking about him, Ari something.
Yeah, well, he just funded that reboot. He didn't actually film.
I was kidding, by the way, about Power Rangers needing a gritty reboot.
But
it needs to be bright colors and fun and crazy and.
But he did one. He funded or whatever. What else is he doing? The Castlevania thing?
Yeah.
Like Batman Beyond is awesome, or not Beyond. Batman Begins is awesome, but it just ruined movies for a while because everything has to be dark.
Well,
but what I was picking it up for is there's on YouTube already a dark, gritty version of Power Rangers, and it's kind of fucking cool.
I kind of fell out of love with Power Rangers. I was maybe 8 or 9 when it first came on, and I fell out of love with it as soon as I realized that half of that show was the same footage every week.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, wait, this is bullshit, and I quit watching.
Yeah, I'm not a Power Rangers fan at all. I'm a Voltron fan, thank you. But I'll go see like a wannabe Breakfast Club pilot, really crappy looking robot dinosaurs and fight. What's her name is Rita Repulsa, and then watch the inevitable. Like, I mean, they got to include a Tommy reference somewhere in there, right? Green Ranger.
He's
like
him and the girl, the Pink Ranger, are both making cameos, from what I understand.
I thought the Pink Ranger was already in it. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the fucking
original
actors.
The actors. Yeah.
No, I'm saying the character.
I hear they're gonna have a red one.
I'm saying the character of Tommy is gonna have some weird fucking nod in that movie, and I don't know where it's gonna be. You know, maybe if they want to do a big franchise like movie series like Marvel, maybe it's a credit scene.
Okay, I'm changing my tune a little bit because Bryan Cranston is in it.
Oh yeah,
as Zordon.
It's Bryan Cranston's.
Because I want to say he was in the original. Yeah, he was in the series.
What? He was in the original? No, he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He was in one of like when they were in the Peach Pit or whatever it is. He was in some of the actual American footage that was shot, and like
it says he's in 2 episodes of it.
Yeah, he was just went back when he was like, you know, before he even showed up on Seinfeld or something. I want to say.
In 19, yeah, and then he plays Zordon in the new.
Well,
okay, I'm on board now.
That one SNL guy plays the little robot helper. Oh, God, how did I forget his name? He's from fucking Tulsa or Oklahoma.
Bill Hader?
I don't even remember them having a robot helper.
Bill Hader. You know, the stupid robot with the saucer head that's always like, like, I don't know.
I don't remember that at all.
He's really annoying. Like, everything, like, I had to have been 16 or 17 when that show was on. But I was not above getting blitzed out of my mind and watching some stupid kids show like that. But I don't know. I did not like the show, but at the same time, I watched the entire Green Ranger arc, so whatever.
It kind of wormed its way into pop culture.
Yeah.
Whether you wanted it to or not. So that's coming out. Then a week after that, March 31st, Ghost in the Shell.
Yep.
I didn't realize this was out so soon, but simultaneously, I feel like
I figured it'd be more.
Why isn't this out already?
I'm honestly.
So aren't they in shit for whitewashing?
Yeah, I know everyone. That's all they talk about when they talk about that. But even putting this aside, the thing I'm most worried about on this movie is that Ghost in the Shell, the anime, it's kind of this procedural, like philosophic, kind of cop show, like. And the movie, like, Scarlett Johansson's like, I'm out for revenge for what they did to me, and that's not...
Like a kick-ass revenge.
What are you talking about, Major? You're the calm, collected, let's analyze the situation and figure out this crazy conspiracy. Like, maybe I go to Ghost in the Shell for crazy cyber conspiracies that flip our morals on its head. I don't go to it for, Major's gonna get revenge. But...
Maybe this is one of those trailers that's just completely misleading about the
Yeah.
actual film.
I don't know. I'm kind of a matinee guy on this movie. I think I'm going to see it at a matinee.
So
Tough to say no to ScarJo.
speaking of anime, I probably could have brought this up during the Power Rangers discussion. I've been trying to work my way through Voltron, just because like the animation is and kind of the writing and some of the voice acting is too good to just not get myself to just get over my hatred of anime. But the fact that I've now watched it on Netflix means that every third fucking recommendation or thing that just decides to autoplay when I walk out of the room is all anime. And then that just snowballs, and it's like, oh, this guy really likes anime. He keeps turning these things on. And there's some weird Death Notebook thing that I walked in on like 3 episodes in. Like, this dude just writes names in a notebook and people die. And, like, it just thinks I love anime now. So I guess fuck Voltron for that. But anyway, sorry.
Well, once you finish Voltron, go check out Ajin. Like, that one's actually kind of more of an adult anime, and it's about people who can't die and them kind of abusing those powers. But Trevor McD in chat says there is a Power Rangers game out for PSN and Xbox One. It's like a side-scroller beat-em-up that's Castle Crashers style with leveling and skill trees, and evidently some mech boss battles and things. And evidently they use sound clips from the show, so maybe that's actually kind of dumb fun. I don't know.
Those things have gotten a lot of work.
But
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle.
Okay.
$15, came out January 31st. Huh. Okay. Yeah, it looks
All right.
very Castle Crashers-y.
Moving on to TV. There's just an because nobody.
I couldn't find any.
Let me check the date. But Fargo season 3 is coming out soon. Looks like April 19th, so there'll be another cast before then. We'll put it on the next one. But I'm excited about that because all those are good. Ewan McGregor, we were just talking about him. He's in it. They always get really good casts.
Have you been watching Legion? It's written by the Fargo guy.
I have not. We've got it on the Diver.
It's worth your time. It is awesome.
Also, should be coming up soon. Better Call Saul season 3.
Yeah, 2's showing up to Netflix soon-ish, if not already.
If you guys haven't watched it, man, do yourselves a favor and watch Better Call Saul.
I didn't love every episode of the first season, but I like Bob
Season 2
Odenkirk
was good.
enough that I can probably get over that.
Well, and yeah, he's great, and then Mike's backstory is awesome.
Yeah, I really like
So,
Mike's backstory.
Everybody, yeah.
And I'm
everybody
excited
likes
to see fucking crazy chicken drug kingpin show up at some point.
He comes
too.
back, yeah. Gus Fring, that's kind of the big, I don't want to call it a spoiler because they're putting it out there, but like a tease. Yeah, that's April 10th, according to the AMC website.
Cool.
So again, I think we'll have another podcast before then, but definitely going to hype those up because I love both those shows. On to streaming. Tomorrow, Iron Fist comes out on Netflix.
It's gotten real positive reviews. Nothing controversial about this show at all. So look forward to that.
All right,
Sorry.
rave reviews from John.
No, this thing is, boy.
It's gotten a lot of
I've-
bad reviews. A lot of people
Yeah,
are pissed
I've
they
heard
didn't
that.
change them to Asian. Like, that's kind of a basket of handworms. What the fuck's a handworm?
That's
I
yeah.
have... What?
People are ready to pounce about that kind of stuff these days. Do we want to get into that, or do we want to move on?
After Luke Cage, I was not expecting everything to resonate with me 1,000%. But one of the things I was talking with a coworker about is that, like, Iron Fist and Luke Cage are sort of, in a sense, cut from the same cloth because one is, basically a blaxploitation and the other one is, Asian exploitation. And I don't know if it's just easier to sort of, or if it was easier for the blaxploitation stuff to evolve because there's so many, like, current issues that can sort of feed off of, and they can still write a modern story because it sounds like Iron Fist is basically Arrow with a guy who shouldn't be as awesome as the series wants you to believe he is. I don't know. It sounds like it's got a lot of problems. I'm gonna give it a shot, but
Yeah.
boy,
I don't. I'm hoping that the reviews are just hung up on the Asian thing, and that it's actually a decent show. And if they really are going
Yeah.
for like a martial arts thing, like through and through, it's probably going to have shit characters and a shit storyline anyway, since that's fairly typical of that stuff.
It's all shit. Listen to John.
But I already know,
The iron shit.
like I already know the dragon that he punches in the heart to get his powers is not in the series, so that's a huge issue.
Well, he was already powerful enough to heart punch a dragon.
Like that's how he
sounds
gets
pretty
his
good.
Iron Fist powers, is he fucking punches a dragon in the fucking heart.
It sounds to me that that's how he
Is
got
that-
extra powers because he sounds pretty badass.
Is that not how you got your Iron Fist powers, Randy? That's how me and John got ours.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We're supreme fisters.
Well, where'd you guys find dragons?
Well, you
Dude,
find
that's,
them.
That's part of it. That's part of you. That's part of the hero's journey,
You
man.
find them in Kunlun.
You'll
The,
find them when you're ready, that
the-
kind of thing.
The mystical city of Kunlun. And
When you're ready, they'll appear. How
Yeah.
Eastern.
I found mine outside of Whiterun.
I thought you were gonna say a White Castle.
he's just totally baked, sitting in the parking lot.
He's
Just
going
the
through the
whole back
dumpster
seat.
looking for.
The
a
whole-
White Castle,
whole
White
backseat
Run. I
is
thought
just
we weren't going to
full of
bring up
empty-
all the whitewashing, guys. Quit it.
Oh, sorry.
We don't have White Castles here. Do you have them in Chicago?
Oh, we got them all over the place. They were open on fucking Valentine's Day, taking reservations where they
Man.
actually have candles on the tables and they come out and actually bring the food to your table and shit. Oh yeah, we got them all over here.
Yeah.
They don't have them here. And finally, March 21st, new Dave Chappelle.
Hell yeah.
Hmm
I say that like I still think like I've seen clips of him recently, and it's,
Did you watch his SNL episode
yeah.
after the election?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I did too, but I could tell like he isn't as spry as he used to be. Like he is.
Well, he's got to be 40-something, right?
Well, I mean like you could tell he hasn't been in skit comedy for 10 years. You know?
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't come through on his stand-up, but I'm still excited for it. Although
Yeah,
I'm
he's
upset
43.
because it comes out the same day as Mass Effect, a game that was going to want to talk to me a whole bunch. So it's not like I can play Mass Effect and
I
watch
doubt
that
it's
at
an
the same
energy
time.
thing. He's like jacked now.
What?
He used to be he used to be a string bean, and then I noticed on SNL, man, he's been working out his arms at least.
Did
They
he?
were glistening.
I thought he was like
He oiled them up.
You got to oil up them guns.
I thought he was chubby or something. Okay, maybe I just read that wrong.
He's tacking on mass. It's important.
Hmm.
All right. That's it for the releases. Suffice to say, we're excited, at least hopeful about a new Dave Chappelle special.
I am.
It's on Netflix. What do you got to lose?
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix is a monthly sunk cost anyway. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
it's basically a utility at this point.
We've all already got it.
Right.
So-
So in the news, just a couple of minor things. The CEO of Telltale, I want to say this is pronounced Kevin Bruner, he stepped down today. He's still going to be on the board of the directors. It wasn't anything, dramatic. It's not like, he fucked up and, I don't know, gave a bunch of money to a bunch of shit posters on Reddit or anything. Like, it's nothing horrible. It sounds like their growth kind of felt like it got a little big for him, and he sort of felt like, you know what, this is no longer, 100% in my wheelhouse. I'm gonna let this guy take over, who actually had already, previously he had served as the CEO for the interim maybe a couple years ago. Dave something, I want to say. So this guy that's taken over has already been the CEO of Telltale. And so this is not going to be this is not a controversy. But I do hope, I've said over and over that, like, after Batman, I'm done with Telltale. Every game feels like it's the same thing. They're not innovating. They're just getting IPs. It feels like they're the Hasbro of video games, in that Hasbro will take any IP you want and they will make a fucking Monopoly game out of it. And that kind of seems like what Telltale is doing. Here's our Game of Thrones Monopoly. Here's our Batman Monopoly. Here's our Borderlands Monopoly. And I just kind of, I hope, and because this guy's been the CEO already, I don't know that I have a lot of hope, but I do kind of hope that they sort of move in a different not a hugely different direction, just a slightly different general direction. At the very least, maybe get a new engine for these games, because, boy, that thing's starting to age. But
Hey, I'm ready to play that fucking Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale. Well, I say that. I'm ready to see a trailer for that to see if I want to play that Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale.
I was gonna say, Viacon Dios or Viacon Star-Lord or whatever. Yeah. So then we got some sales news because we're all up in them financial news things. It looks like Horizon Zero Dawn did very well. It is looking at around 2.6 million units in the first 2 weeks, according to Polygon.
Nice.
For reference, Uncharted 4, I want to say, they said had 2.7 in the first 2 weeks. So this is selling Uncharted, first Uncharted on a new gen system levels of sales for them.
People were stoked about it.
And you'd kind of never know it going off of sort of the current zeitgeist, because everyone wants to talk about nothing but Zelda, and it's like, guys,
Yeah.
this is bad timing, but like, and I'm not doing a fanboy thing like, well, I don't have a Nintendo, I have PS4, this is my favorite, but like, you can talk about them both, but like, it seems like everyone just had like 20 minutes of talking about Horizon and then just swept it under the rug.
Yeah. Well,
You guys have both been playing it, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but I think a lot of people only have so much time, right? I mean, a lot of people can't dedicate time to both Horizon and Zelda. And I imagine that they both take as much focus.
Part of that's the whole game industry reviewer system where they're like, here, have Horizon a week early. Here, have Zelda a week early. So now we are, they tried to rush through Horizon and then they shelved it, and then they're trying to rush through Zelda and realizing they can't rush through Zelda, and now
It seems like nobody wants to. I mean, these are games. This is a game that, most of the podcasts I listen to, people are talking about like they were expecting to still be playing this game in 4 to 6 to 9 months.
wow.
Zelda or Horizon?
Zelda.
Really?
Yeah.
I expect to
really
be playing
like-
Horizon. I don't know how long Horizon goes, though.
People really like Zelda. Like, I was really feeling the hype the first week, and after the first week passed, I leveled out a bit. Like, it still looks like a cool, real game, but weapon durability is a huge fucking issue. Like, why would you... I realize that does not ruin the game for anyone. It's still popular, so it sounds like you just get new weapons as soon as you break them, and pretty regularly have a long stream of weapons in your inventory, and as things level up, you consistently get better weapons, but why would you ever want to use your best weapon since it's going to break really quick?
Yeah. And I guess you get some character development of some type, or maybe you get an item or something that sort of mitigates that problem more and more and more to where when you get to the end of the game, it's not a problem at all. But like, I don't want to deal with crafting systems, even though that's a huge thing in Horizon. I don't want to really deal with all the weapon durability and inventory management and all that shit. I don't want to deal with all the cooking that seems to take forever. And it kind of, I was watching some videos on it, and it kind of, I feel like the game looks washed out color-wise. Am I crazy? I mean, maybe that's
how you make
YouTube.
that's how you make stuff look real.
I mean, they were going for that look, that kind of washed out, almost pastel type look out of it, But
Yeah, I sort of bums me out. But here's the thing. Those things are every gripe that I think I might have with the game at this point. But, I was telling you guys before the cast, just for giggles, I was pricing out what it would cost for me to play this game. And a Switch, I'm looking at, I want to say like $500 and something after tax. Even a Wii U, I'm knocking on $400 just for Zelda, and like I can't. There's a lot of other stuff to play, and I'm glad people are enjoying the hell out of this. And I hope I get to play it someday, but I'm not counting on it.
I'm hoping during the summer I will have a chance to play it, and I think like I'm going to get a Switch eventually, and I don't know when that will be. If they, I mean, granted, if they do another form factor of it, it's probably going to be another year or two, right? I mean, that's nothing they do in the next half year. But
It'd be another year and then another 4 months before there's actually enough on the shelves to where you could buy one. So you just need to tack 4 months on whenever they release something.
Well, but I mean, they're coming out with the Shin Megami Tensei game for it, and granted, I don't know that I mean, that may be a multi-platform game, so that may kill me wanting to get it there. The Blaster Master, I would like to check out. I keep meaning to watch some quick looks on that to see if I'd actually like the new Blaster Master or not. And then Zelda I'm curious about, but I'm also kind of wondering if maybe I should just buy it for Wii, like, because it sounds like the trade-offs are are fairly like
Is it available on
non-existent.
the Wii?
Wii U? I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Wii U.
They did
okay.
this. Yeah, right. That's right. They keep doing that. Damn it. The trade-offs seem largely acceptable. Like there are drawbacks, but they seem like you can deal with them. I don't know, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Horizon. What
Oh, yeah.
how far are you guys into this thing?
Not really very far. I'm taking my sweet time. I'm doing every side quest I can find, and I'm really kind of savoring the experience.
Have you gotten to the
Um,
proving yet?
Oh yeah, I finished the proving, and I climbed my first tall neck, and I fought the first wave of like the bandits or whatever that are retreating. The guys that came and killed you at the proving, like you find their camp like the first time, and you kind of descend on them. I did all that. Whatever the name of that the first area after you get done with the proving, whatever that's called, the embrace. Anyway, that's where that's where I am.
Gotcha.
And I'm doing everything, and I'm taking my time.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing that too. I've done all the tall necks at this point. Like it's enough like a Far Cry or Assassin's Creed type game where I just immediately go, okay, first things first, get rid of this fog of war. Got to go climb all the tall necks, no matter where they are, and then
I was gonna
And
say,
they're a
don't
lot
you-
harder to get to than they are to climb. I like that aspect that like once you either clear an area and this slow ass motherfucker walks over to you to a point where you can climb up on it, you're kind of up to the top in like 5 or 6 jumps.
Man,
it's
you
not one of
just-
these Far Cry things where you're just climbing.
So
forever.
rewind. So you're clearing the area before you climb it?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
But like
definitely if that's the first thing you're doing, right? Those machines are probably way higher than you are.
I mean, that'll take like an hour or two. Like I've just like after you climb it, it kind of kills everything around it anyway. So.
yeah, but while you're waiting for this slow giraffe motherfucker to wander around this canyon long enough to get to you, you just like the birds will just spot you, and then you'll have like 4 cockatrices or whatever just lighting your ass up. I you know what? I didn't really jump the gun on finding the tall necks. I sort of once the natural progression of the game pushed me to that area.
I mean, there
I
aren't
would
any
kinda
guns
head
in the
over
game,
there.
right?
Oh, dude, there's totally guns. Are you kidding me? There's like a Deathbringer gun.
Oh yeah, you shoot
Have you
them
not
off.
got one?
Damn it.
the guys that are killing you at the end of the proving all have they
No,
have a gun.
yeah, but you can shoot all the guns off of the animals too. My bad. I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah.
I
You
thought
got
I had
disc
a,
launchers
I
and
thought I had a
fucking
good interrupter, and I didn't. I had a bad one.
no, you got schooled, son. But yeah, it's so I had kind of all the skills. The first thing I did was I ran to, at least to the best of my ability, I ran to all the places like the bunkers, for lack of a better term, that give you the additional machines that you can then override.
Oh yeah, I've only done 2 of those, so like I kind of made a
gotta find
mistake
more of those.
on my second one, because the second one I went to Zeta, which I'm pretty sure is the last one I should have gone to, because that was the one where the fucking
The bellow
the
whatever.
T-Rex guy, the
Oh.
what is that?
Oh yeah, the Ravager or something like that.
No, it was Thunderjaw, where the Thunderjaw was.
Okay, there. Yeah, he's real fucking hard, even if you're appropriately leveled.
I spent like an hour on that fight and finally got it. And what I discovered is the sniper bow I got has some ammo that's fucking badass. That
The tearaway.
I think so. That's the one where you hit it and it just explodes huge chunks of parts
Knocks
off of them.
pieces off the
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
God, that's great.
So yeah, I kind of did those first. So I would sneak up because I put most of, and I don't like stealth games, and I'm sort of getting burnt out in open world games. But for some reason, I put all my shit into stealth to start with because you can
I
get
love
real
stealth.
close to these motherfuckers, and so long as you're crouched. If I have the stealth weave upgrades in my gear, and I have the stealth upgrades in my skill tree or whatever, so you can like if you're moving too slow to catch up to one of these guys while he's walking away, you can just continuously roll after him and they don't notice a thing. It's
Just another rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
So something I discovered that I really liked doing in the game, because I'd been playing it like 90% stealth. And recently, it's like I had to go to some, I don't remember, it wasn't a bandit thing, but it was a side story with bandit-type enemies in it. And I wasn't really quite sure what I was doing and just rode in there with my fucking, what was it? It was longhorn guy, you know, he has like the big horns on front that you can ride as a mount. And I just kind of rode in there and discovered they were bad guys and just started fucking bucking the shit out of everyone in there. Just found the heavy and stomped them into the
What's
ground.
up, bitches?
God, that was fun. And I don't know why I haven't been doing that every time. Like, just getting
Seems like a good
horde
strategy.
of robot dinosaurs to fucking descend on a place. But
That might help you as much as you think. Okay, so I didn't do a ton of overriding. I would do some trying to get up to those long necks, just so I had some cover while I waited for these things. But I found that whenever I try and override something, like I don't remember all their names, but the saber-tooth tiger one, like those guys are really jumpy, and they don't care if you're already fighting, like say a watcher at point blank range. They will just jump on the both of yous and just stomp both of your shit. And it's like, I don't, nope, you guys, you're not helping. You're totally not helping. I mean, they'll tear the shit out of the other machines, but I found that they kicked my ass almost as much as they helped me, so I don't really use them in combat.
well, and it's hard to get more than one of them hacked at a time. You know, like I say that it's hard to get more than like, let's say your mount and then +1, and then that's about usually where you cap out in terms of trying to sneak up on him and get him, because the second you get one hacked anyway, it's probably going to attack another one, and therefore
Right.
you're not going to be able to sneak up on it. But I really want to see, the thing I want to know, God, I feel like you could tell me this, Jake, and
Well, go
So
ahead and
maybe I don't
ask,
wanna
and
know.
I'll go ahead and ask, and I'll let you know if you probably want to know it or if it's super spoilery or whatever.
well, I mean, Zeta gave me the ability to hack one of those giant ones. Can I ride it?
I don't believe so. You know what? I didn't use mounts for most of the game because
Oh
I
my
found
gosh.
that I was jumping off the mount every 15 steps because there's another medicine thing. All right,
Oh,
get back
yeah.
on. All right, gallop, gallop, gallop. There's another plant.
Yeah, that's something they really could have improved, is like just have a vendor in town
Yes.
that refills your medicine pouch.
Or
I have-
fewer nodes that just give you more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I
even
have
that would work.
30,000. I have 30,000 pieces of metal here. Like, I can swing a couple hundred. Just let me, and it's. I don't want it to be overpowered. It's just a convenience thing. Like, I'm in town. I've just sold off all my shit. Let me go to the inn or an herbalist or something and just hand him, a stack of metal and say, "Fill this bag, buddy." And they didn't do it. I feel like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
came up with that too. That they really could have used that.
Yeah, there's a couple quality of life things I think that game could benefit from like that. But part of me thinks like that'll be something that's obviously fixed if they ever do a sequel, and I imagine they will. It's selling good, and I've heard all the same podcasts. Well, some of the same podcasts you have, so I've heard everyone say that the game wraps a lot of stuff up, but like I'm
I heard
skeptical.
that they plan on doing more of them.
They could. I mean, they totally could, or they could even set it in a different area. Like it.
Like they want Aloy to be kind of associated with the PlayStation, like other characters have been. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah,
like Cloud or
they're
whatever.
other badass redhead women from the past that really took off, like Heavenly Sword chick. What was her name?
Well,
I don't even remember. See, there you go.
I mean, Aloy, I don't know. I think she's a good character. Like I mean, they've made her into I mean, she's not sexualized at all.
right.
Like
She's attractive, but she's not sexed
That's-
up.
and she is a
That's okay.
badass in everything she does. Like, she is literally better at everything than everyone else in that game. And she actually physically intimidates people at times. Like, it's kind of unheard of for a female protagonist. So I would be surprised if she as a character is not, like, hugely popular. At least among the SJW crowd. But
You know what? And that was actually one of the things I liked about this is they didn't. And I guess this is maybe kind of a spoiler, but it's not really. It's a spoiler you'll be glad you heard. They didn't try and wedge a love story into this thing.
Oh, that's
Like,
yeah.
there are NPCs who are kind of gross and hit on you, but it's never like over the top Witcher style slap you in the face with it kind of thing. It's just real subtle, and like her reaction is like, yeah, she's an outcast, but clearly she grew up as an attractive girl or whatever, so she's used to this. So she's picking up that these creepy dudes are hitting on her, and she's like, so you can understand from her responses that like, oh, she's run into this before. She knows what's up. There's a couple of things that I just wanted to mention. There's some goofy stuff. Have you guys gone and found the vistas yet?
Mm-mm.
I guess not.
They're sort of they're like things you find. They're usually up high, and they'll usually be over like a scenic view of like a wrecked building or something like that.
Oh, you're talking about they aren't called vistas. You're talking about the weird little hacked things where you can see what shit used to look like.
I'm almost positive they are called vistas, but yes, those are the things I'm talking about. So there are two of those. I kept trying to figure out where this took place because in one of the opening scenes, they show what appears to be a longitude and latitude, except it's flipped. Like she's reading it, and the camera's behind the screen looking at her, and it's a hologram, so you can kind of make them out. And it looked like the game took place in southern Illinois, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Too many mountains.
So guess what?
It's not
What?
that far.
We
in the
are
future.
both full of shit. It's called Vantage.
Vantage, damn it. All right. I was a V. I was close. So anyway, two of these Vantages I mention actual places. One of them is Lake Powell, and another is Colorado Springs. And the game area is pretty big.
Colorado
just
Springs would make sense.
It would. And just for giggles, I looked up how far away these two places are. It is a 14-hour drive between these two places that she supposedly ran between in like 10 minutes. It made me laugh. Like it's one of those Springfield, borders, Missouri, Washington, Arizona, and Maine kind of things.
Yeah.
There's a... Okay, I know you guys haven't gotten to this part yet, but this made me laugh. There's an AI kind of thing. Like you run across this thing in one of the areas, from the old world. It's the metal world, as they call it. I would totally live in the metal world. Anyway, you're running through one of these things, and you come across this like text log that's talking about this like AI nanny that they had developed, or was just a thing back in the old world, and they were. It wasn't a joke, but if you actually like inferred what happens as to what they were describing, you figured out that this is actually kind of funny. This AI had multiple personalities that would take care of different aspects of taking care of the kids, and two of them were a disciplinarian and a healer, and the log was talking about how they had to sort out some issues with those because they kept getting into feedback loops. So like the disciplinarian would see you drawn on the wall with your crayons and come beat the shit out of you, and then the healer would fix you up, and then it would switch back to the disciplinarian, and then he'd like call you a pussy and throw you against the wall again or something. It'd just get worse and worse.
Oh man,
It took me a second to put it together when I was reading the log, but it made me laugh.
that's sounds good.
Yeah, there isn't a ton of stuff like that, but when it's there, it's good.
I mean, you told me about it before the cast started, so like you ruined my initial like surprise, but that's okay.
Sorry. And speaking of which, I really liked the story. I just wish they had spread it out a little more. You guys aren't there yet, but you're going to get to a point that sort of begins Act 2. I posted a thing about it on Twitter via the Carousel account, and said, look, if you get to the beginning of Act 2, and you will know you got there, read every log that you come across. And I liked it the first time because they just do this information dump, and it's like, oh, that's how all this shit happened. And oh, here's all this shit to do now because of this thing, And it's like, wow, there's a lot more game than I thought there would be. Except they do that a couple more times, and the problem is, you're sort of tethered to wherever you find these logs until they're done playing or you're done listening to them or something. And you can't open any menus or they'll restart or the audio goes away and you have to now read it as text. So I wish they had spread that stuff out a little more. But, it was a good story. And then I just wanted to let everyone know a couple of tips that I figured out sort of much later than I should have. The first is the only plants you probably really need to pick up are medicine plants.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find some electric root or something, and then like a corruption plant and a fireweed or something. Those are all just used to, some of them I think are used to trade for potions or something, but those are just all for crafting potions. So generally you don't need those. Also, don't get too worried about dropping, don't get worried about dropping wood out in the forest. You're going to end the game with a ton of branches, and you cannot sell them. So get a good chunk built up, and then don't worry about dropping some.
Yeah, I ran into a nasty thing it took me a little bit to get past, where my resources pouch was full, and I didn't realize it. And I thought I was picking up the skins I needed to increase its size.
Oh no!
And I wasn't. And then just one, I looked in, I'm like, why do I have zeros of these? I literally just picked one up and started, and then that's when I realized what it was doing to my resources stuff, and then went and took care of some wood out by the shed.
Yeah, that was a bummer. And that was my last tip. Is if you're trophy hunting, I was trophy hunting just because, I don't know, I felt compelled to do all the stuff in this game, and I got so close I figured I may as well do it. You do not need to. There is no trophy for crafting all the bags and upgrading all your weapons or buying all the weapons and upgrading them. There is no trophy for any of that stuff. Do not feel like you have to do it. I spent probably too many hours in this game feeling like I had to do all the tutorial missions for these things and level them up and get them all, use them all and get kills with them and stuff. You don't need to do any of that for any trophies.
Okay,
I wish I had known that to start with, because I don't think I would have gone, fishing with my crazy bow and arrow as much as I did to try and get fish bones or whatever. So. But speaking of bones.
Yeah. Get some Fistbones going on.
Captain Fistbones coming at you.
So I saw Logan. You guys know my history with the X-Men movies, where I kind of actively hate and loathe most of them, because I'm such a fan of the comics. Logan's fucking awesome. This is a really good movie. It is the first time I have seen Hugh Jackman actually play Wolverine on screen. And I'm not just talking about the violence and gore. I mean, he's kind of the drunk, belligerent, kind of the actual anti-hero that he is. The guy who doesn't necessarily, you got to talk him into doing good.
Yeah. In the other ones, he's just kind of Captain Badass.
Yeah, Captain Badass, and has the moral sinner to move it forward. But
yeah,
the only way he was drunk is they found him in a bar and he was drinking, but clearly sober anyway. Yeah.
I was gonna say, how does the healing stuff affect drunkenness?
In the movies, evidently it means
does he
can't
sober
get
up real
drunk.
quick?
In the comics, he likes to say he can't get drunk, but he gets drunk all the time.
I bet it's still
I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah. The whole the movie does have a couple issues that I won't get into because they're spoilers, but the little girl they got to play Laura X-23 is really fucking good. And it doesn't have hardly anything in common with the Old Man Logan comic. The only similarities are that he's old, and there is one minor plot point where if you cough, you will miss it. That is kind of a parallel to the comic. But other than that, it's mainly kind of a, hey, Logan, go do something good. He doesn't want to do something good, and then it's kind of a runaway drive type movie.
The one parallel is just like it's a real quick shot, but if you look close, you can see this like barn just kind of shaking back and forth, and if you look real close, you can see a big green Hulk ass just poking out in the back.
No,
a little bit.
no. That is not the parallel.
Hulk smash that ass.
The Hulks are not in it. You know, I mean, granted, it would be kind of entertaining to see the Hulk eat Wolverine on screen, but no, it's a really good movie. I think the penultimate villain in it's really fucking dumb, and I hate it when stories do it. It's not the first movie to do it, and it won't be the last. But
Do what? Have a dumb villain?
Do you say the penultimate villain?
Yeah.
Okay, so the second to last guy is shitty. There's more than one villain in this?
Is the penultimate the second to last guy? Like I don't want to get into it much more. I'm just saying, like, when you meet the thing that's supposed to be the ultimate physical challenge to him, like, it's really fucking lame, in my opinion.
Kind of like Apocalypse was?
Yeah. Yeah, not quite that lame.
He didn't do a damn thing in that whole movie.
Yeah, I don't...
He laid on that altar and looked creepy. And
Anyway,
he talked to Olivia
That's
Munn.
a whole other movie. So you give it your recommendation, Logan?
Yeah, Logan's really good. I think you should go see it. It does have lots of cursing, lots of blood and violence, so you're warned there. But ultimately, it's a movie that has a good pacing to it. That I think the character's a little bit more real than we're used to getting from the Foxmen movies.
How's
Foxman, I like that.
How's Xavier treated? How's Patrick Stewart do?
It's weird because
He seems he's all old and decrepit, right?
Yeah. Like a large part of the story kind of surrounds that. And, I mean, I guess you don't really, I don't think you find out from the trailers, even though you find out early on, but basically his mind's going a little bit, which is causing issues. So,
probably that hair he's growing now.
well, and the director actually commented about that being the reason he's getting his hair back, is that he's, as his mind...
Oh, that his super mind powers aren't scaring off all his hair anymore?
Evidently, something like that.
Like they blow the follicles right out of his noggin. Oh, dude, so I get it now. In the comics back in the day, every time he used his power, you would see these little black wavy lines pointing at whoever he was using his mind powers on.
That was his hair.
That was his fucking hair.
Yep.
He's got magic hair.
Oh, man.
Professor X's magic hair. There's your show title.
Yeah. That's the conduit, you know what I mean? That's like the antenna.
Right, it's got to physically touch them.
He's related to Medusa, the Inhumans, and just inherited a version of her hair, kind of thing. Anyway, yeah. No, it's a good movie, but I don't even know what the fuck you wrote down here, Jake. What the fuck are you talking about? What is this next topic?
I've been watching The Man in the High Castle.
Oh,
With an eye, asshole.
that makes more sense.
But I wrote that he's the man with the high asshole. Just because I knew that would go out to all your phones and would just make you wonder what the fuck was going on.
Can you do marijuana enemas? I know people do that with beer.
What?
How would you even... I mean,
High
stoners are pretty clever.
Oh.
I'm just wondering if that would work. Because it works with alcohol.
Well, I mean, they make, like, distilled, fucking marijuana pills. I mean...
People do it with coffee, too.
You could just
Maybe
stick
it has
that
to
up
be
your
liquid.
ass and it'll
They have
probably
liquid
dissolve.
THC, don't they? They have THC in
They
liquid form.
must.
Bong water enema, that's what it is.
Oh, God, that's fucking gross. Like, who's the next guy who's going to take a hit off that bong that you just crammed up your ass?
There, that's our title.
Honestly, that just makes me think of... Have you guys watched Food Fight?
No?
So
I watched Sausage Party, but
Or
no.
Sausage Party, that's what I meant. That just makes me think of the fucking... Whatever. That makes me think of the douche from Sausage Party.
Seth Rogen?
No, like the... okay, so...
No, he was played by a guy from SNL.
So, spoiler, like they have a... Because everything...
Sausage Party spoilers coming up, guys.
Everything in Sausage Party is from this convenience store. And this convenience store sells douches. So, douche is a character. And he just starts, like, he gets a hole in him early on and then just starts fucking, like, putting whatever liquid he can into him to keep himself from going out.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think he ever does it with bong water, but it just made me think of that.
That movie was by and large pretty bad, but it's on Netflix, and if you can handle some, hey, we put quote unquote adult humor in here because we got a studio that let us. If you can get past that, it's got a couple of laughs in it, but I don't.
I feel like they're going for the shock
Can you at least
humor
appreciate? Well, yeah. Can you appreciate it on a level like, because a lot of that Seth Rogen stuff is just kind of buddies having fun. Can you appreciate it on that kind of level?
I don't know. I thought, I don't know what this says about me, but I thought the funniest jokes were some of the characters and like the accents that came out of them. Like once they started talking, like, you know, there's a bagel walks up and the voice actor is doing this crazy, outrageous Jewish accent.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he's walking around with I don't even know what that Middle Eastern rap, like flatbread or something. I don't know what it is.
Pita?
Maybe a pita.
I think it was a pita.
But it was
a
like
pita, like the Jewish guy was a bagel, the Muslim guy was a pita, and they were both friends with hummus.
Right, and that's one of the jokes. But like them sort of playing off each other like that, it made me laugh when the crazy Jewish voice came out of the bagel. And like, God, what's her name? Not Penelope Cruz. Maybe it was Penelope Cruz.
Salma Hayek, the taco.
Salma Hayek, there you go. She was the taco because she's got this crazy Mexican accent.
That's all right with me, man.
All that stuff made me
Put
laugh.
Salma Hayek in there. I'm on board.
Yeah, it had its moments. Anyway, the man with the high asshole. Speaking of assholes, that theme song, every time the show starts, like Amazon Prime isn't set up the way that Netflix is, where so long as there isn't a cold open, it will skip the intro sequence. So every episode I hear that Edelweiss. Is that from Sound of Music, I want to say?
Yeah, I think so.
Or maybe it's not from that, but it was in it, whatever.
Yeah.
Every time they say it sounds like anal vice to me, and it makes me chuckle. Anyway, there's nothing that I can point to that's bad about this show. The scene-to-scene writing is good. The acting is good. The actors are good. It was good casting. The production and, you know, like the period piece and the scenery and all the clothes and cars and all that shit is good. I don't have anything that makes me want to stick with it. I mean, there's some cool stuff with John Smith, who is I'm going to butcher this, Obergruppenführer? I don't know. He's the dude who basically runs the Nazi stuff out of New York. There's some cool stuff with him and his family that sort of starts getting cool around episode 6, but I don't know that I can...
getting cool?
Exactly. You know, we're a season and a half into this thing at this point, and I still... Like, John, you remember us talking about the last 5 or 10 minutes of season 1 and how cool that was?
Yeah. I'm guessing they didn't deliver on that much.
Well, they're starting to, but it doesn't start till maybe like 4 episodes in.
Oh, man.
And even what they're doing with it isn't very cool.
Did they follow the Jewish guy around a bunch? Because I really didn't like that character.
They do a little bit of stuff with him and like the curio salesman. That's kind of cool. But really, it sort of feels like nothing's happening, even when stuff's happening. I'm probably going to finish the season, but I don't think I can get in good conscience recommend it to anyone anymore.
I mean, season 1 dragged pretty hard in the middle, you know, like it was like the first couple episodes were kind of cool, and then it's just started dragging, and you're like, where the fuck is this even going? And then the season ended, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? And I've been worried that the second season's going to be like that too, because I mean, I don't.
Here's the thing, like, without getting super spoily, in the first couple episodes, you are introduced to the man in the high castle. Like, you go to his place.
Wow.
And he's like, hello.
He keeps pulling his pants up. You didn't say anything, did you? Like, you meet him, and he's played by an actor that when you see who he is, you're like, that guy fucking rocks. I love that guy. But even that, it's like, okay, all right, boom, let's do this. Let's sit down, see what this deal is, see what these films are about. This guy knows a bunch of stuff, and like, we don't need to make him Captain Exposition or anything, but like, give us something. Like, this is the guy we've been going after, and they kind of don't. He just sort of asks a bunch of questions and implies some stuff and is like, go over there. And that's it. So, like, they keep hinting at what is actually going on and never paying it off. And it's kind of infuriating.
That sounds lame.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, I'm going to finish this season because, it's the sunk cost fallacy where I say, well, I've already got 18 hours into this thing. I may as well drop another 5. Like, I'm going to do it just to sort of have the peace of mind of knowing I finished it and whether it turned around or not. But I'm not very optimistic.
So, real quick.
What conclude?
Oh, what?
Go ahead. I was going to try to make a bad segue.
Oh.
You can go.
We have
I was gonna ask
arrived at
John,
the end.
Yeah. What conclusions have you arrived at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my kind of segue.
So
but-
Arrival. Huh?
But I'm going to go through this. I'm going to fly through this real quick because we're running long.
Yeah.
So, I rented Arrival. I wasn't expecting much out of it. And
It's good, right?
It kind of blew my mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
It's the Amy
Yeah.
Adams one, right?
Yeah.
It is. We rented it. We rented it on Valentine's Day. Yeah, man, it's really good.
Super fucking good movie. It's one of those, the less you know about it, the better. Yes, it is an alien's land, and they got to talk to it. Kind of. I say that there is no other movie like that.
In Aliens Land? Is this like a theme park?
Aliens? No.
Oh, Aliens Land. Okay, I thought you said they were
don't-
in Aliens Land. I was like, shit, is Woody Harrelson in this?
No.
They don't really
No.
land though, because the ships hover.
Yeah, that's true. That's entirely true.
They arrive.
But I thought the movie is creative as fuck, and it is super interesting to watch a second time. I don't want to directly compare it to Ex Machina, but that's the only other movie that I can think that functions even slightly like that. But this movie is definitely on a higher mental plane than I'm used to getting out of my movies. I should curb this in that it looked like judging by Letterboxd, and I don't want to directly say that I influenced Knobs to go watch this for my Letterboxd review, but he watched it like a day or two after I posted my glowing review on Letterboxd, and he didn't like it as much, which makes me think I'm overselling it, even though I think it's fucking a brilliant movie. So
I don't think you're overselling it. I really liked it.
yeah, it's super good, super good, in my opinion. I believe Jeremy Renner was smart in this, so that's
It builds the, I don't know, it builds the tension. It stays mysterious for a while,
yeah.
but you can kind of feel what it's getting at, and then it just lays it on you. I don't know. It's good.
Yeah. Oh,
Expertly
man.
crafted, well shot.
Yeah.
The tone is perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm now excited to see Blade Runner because this is the guy who's going to direct Blade Runner. So,
okay.
I think that's a dangerous game you're playing there, John.
So
I know.
if you
Okay,
haven't
I'm not
already-
actually excited. I have more hope for Blade Runner, whereas I did no hope for the Blade Runner sequel previously. But I mean, Darren Aronofsky made Noah, so everyone can shit out a fucking diarrhea sandwich every once in a while. But
Wow, that was evocative.
That's a good way to end, I think.
yeah, so. I mean, at least with the regular Nutty Butter, you got something there
Nope,
to chew
moving on.
But
Nope.
okay, so thank you for
Cut me off.
joining us. Welcome to the Carousel, where we join us every 8 p.m. on Thursday, every other Thursday.
Whoa.
Am
Not
I
every
doing the
Thursday.
beginning or the end?
Try that
You
again.
fucked it up twice already.
Yeah.
You do this
was-
every episode, man.
That was a word salad.
Did I? Yeah. So, okay. So we stream live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Central every other Thursday.
That's right.
We have an email, carouselpodcast@gmail.com. If you send it, we will read it on the cast.
It's true.
We also love for people to show up and hang out with us, so we can talk with you and read your comments as the cast goes.
Yeah, that's always great, and it's it's super helpful actually. It's back when I before I was doing any casts and I would just kind of hang out in streams and stuff. I sort of felt like I was kind of being a pain in the ass, but really, I mean, having folks around watching and commenting is usually pretty helpful because they remind us of stuff. They can add their 2 cents in. For example, Trevor here reminded me that Heavenly Sword girl was named Nariko. I liked Nariko. Anyway. So that's super helpful. You should come hang out with us.
Yeah. Also follow us on our Twitter, where you can get notifications that we're streaming live and also experience Jake trying desperately not to turn on his Twitter account again. And
You know what? I'm trying. I was trying to make a concerted effort to have the Twitter not just be, here is, boom, we're streaming. Here's your
Oh,
notification.
man. I just ruined it, didn't I? You're not gonna do it anymore. So
Yeah, fuck it. I'm out. I'm done.
okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks for. Wait, what am I talking about? Oh yeah, buy my music at MusiM.bandcamp.com. Trying to think. Randy, you're still on Twitter. Where can we find you?
OSU Cobra at OSU Cobra.
Okay. Well,
There you go.
I believe
You
that's-
asked and I told.
I believe that is it. So we will see everyone next turn.
Bye.
Show to be Scottish.
Oh man. Okay. Titles.
Long water enema.
Oh, I forgot about Bongwater Enema. Let me put that in the list here so it can be compared among its peers.
I
Now, is this
guarantee
is that like
guarantee
getting
you Somebody's
high?
done that.
Is
Guaranteed.
that like getting high and listening to the third Tool album?
Oh,
Because
jeez.
that would probably be a crazy experience.
He is talking about flushing it down.
Or
Mhm.
the second Blink 182 album.
Learn to swim, bitches.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. You gonna read through these, Jake, or should I?
Okay.
Okay.
We have Supreme Fisters, Slider Dragon Drive-Thru, Droppin' Wood, Captain Fistbones, Professor X's Magic Hair, and Bongwater Enema. I feel like it's got to be one of the two X-Men ones. I like Bongwater Enema. I think it's real punchy, but I think it's also so far out of our wheelhouse that it's not very.
People might get the wrong
representative of us.
impression.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Professor X's Magic Hair is okay.
I like Captain Fistbones, man.
Yeah, that one.
All right, I'm sold.
Captain Fistbones.
Boom, coming at you.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us, Trevor. We'll see everyone
guys.
later.
See you guys.